This one, I feel like this one stings way worse than the last one. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Kira if you are new, and I am sitting down here today to bring forth what I hope can be some form of awareness. If I pause a lot during this video, or if there are some rough edits, I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. I'm gonna do my best to keep my composure. I don't wanna bring emotion into this too much. I really just want to come here and bring facts to you guys. I've really been enjoying sharing with you the journey that I've been taking on various different things. I feel like if my video can help just one person, then it really makes it worth it to share that video. So when I went through my little mammogram scare, there were a couple of people that were affected by my video in a positive way. And so it was really worth it for me then to share it. And the same thing happened. I'm having some other lady problems. And so I shared that video with you guys as well. And I got some amazing feedback of so many of you who have either been in my shoes or are currently. And that video really either helped me or helped others. So I feel like these awareness videos are useful. And right now I want to bring some awareness to you guys about Bank of America. I've been banking with Bank of America for 16 years now, and they are the only bank I've ever had that I've had so many issues with. I also bank with Wells Fargo. I've been banking with Wells Fargo for about 13 years, and I love them. I've never had any issues. We've never had any kind of security issues or fraud issues. We've never had to have like our debit card changed. Like, we were lucky enough to never lose it or have it stolen. We never had anybody like tamper with it. We've never had to have it replaced. The only time we ever had it replaced is when it expired. Otherwise, Bank of America has been pretty Wells Fargo has been pretty straightforward since we've been using them. Bank of America, not so much. We started out perfectly fine. They used to carry our mortgage when we lived in South Carolina, so we had amazing benefits from them: free checking, free savings, free safety deposit box, anything and everything you possibly could think of from Bank of America. Because we held our mortgage with them, we got for free. Wonderful treatment at the bank that we used to bank with at when we lived in South Carolina. That bank particular branch was fantastic. Everybody in there was always so helpful, and so we always had positive experiences with Bank of America. Up until I would say about the last like 4 or 5 years or so, slowly things had starting to become affected. Daryl had his debit card hacked, I believe 3 separate times. He's had his card changed 3 separate times. He never knows where that it comes from. He's not the one who does online shopping or anything. That's me. Unless he goes to the gas station, the guy really doesn't shop very much. So I don't ever really know how it is that his card gets hacked, but it always seems to be his card that was always being tampered with. So he had his card changed 3 times. And then we had another issue that has been stemming for the last 2 years, but I'll share that in a minute because that actually just came rectified about 2 days ago. And then now we had another issue the day after. So everything's just been kind of stacking up. When we were scammed, when we first got moved here to Texas, it is my Bank of America account that I used to send that payment to the guy who scammed us on the house. Now, if you guys are not aware of what happened, I'll link that video so you can go ahead and check it out. But in the long run, we were scammed like just the most bizarre, wacky way of being scammed when we first got here. But I must say that now that it's been a couple of years and I've got a chance to kind of sit on it for a while, Oliver's acting crazy behind me, I'm sorry. But after I've got a chance to kind of think about it and sit on it for a while, I'm more mad at myself now. I realized how naive I was. It was wishful thinking, and it was something that really would have helped and benefited our family. And so I feel like my judgment was clouded, and I put a lot of stock into relying on somebody that I did not know. And so I definitely feel I've learned my lesson in that retrospect. But then now, just yesterday, we had something completely dramatic happen to us. Like, this is not clickbait. This is real life. Like, I don't even know where to go with this, you guys. Like, that's why I said I hope that I can keep my composure, because I've had a rough night, like, trying to pull myself together. So we have a security feature on our Bank of America account. If you bank with Bank of America, you might have the same security feature that if someone's trying to make a odd payment out of your account or requesting money, or they see that money's trying to be taken, they'll text you and say, hey, are you trying to make this purchase? Text back yes or no. We've received those messages from Bank of America since we've been banking with them, or since they had security like that. And plenty of times, like, there's even been times where it has been me and they've sent over messages, and then I've had to reply like, yes, I'm standing at the register. That happened at Big Lots. I'll never forget. I was trying to buy a couch set and I was pregnant with Mason, and I was so mad because I was swiping the card and it kept denying the charge. I didn't have my phone on me, and I ended up having to leave, and I went out to the car, and then I saw my phone and I had to reply back yes, and then go back in and make sure the charge went through. Like, it was a whole big disaster, but it's meant to protect you. And so I do appreciate if a bank has high security, because you're trusting them with your funds. And so I am totally okay with that. It's great news. Fantastic. So we received a message like that yesterday saying, hey, somebody's trying to take $3,500 out of your bank account. Are you approving this Zelle payment? And so it went to Daryl's phone first, and he didn't see it. He was working. And then these people called. Well, Bank of America, comes up Bank of America, which their number, their customer service number, if you Google it, or if you check the back of your debit card, is 1-800-432-1000. And so that number called Daryl 3 times, and he did not get a chance to reach them. So he called them, and he did not have a chance to wait online. It was like a 30-minute hold time. Again, he was at work, so he requested they call back. And so the phone rang, and it came up Bank of America again. And so he talked to them and said, hey, I'm at work. Like, I can't help you navigate through whatever's going on. Can you please call my wife? And so they said yes. And so he texted me and he said, hey, you're going to get a phone call from the 432-1000, the Bank of America number, and they need to go over some things with you because someone's trying to hack our bank account. And so I was like, I was in the middle of filming a video, and I was like, I mean, can you explain to me what happened? And so he told me really quickly about the text, and I was like, did you respond back no, that it wasn't us? And he said yes. I said, okay, well then we've done everything we need to do. You don't need to talk to them. And he was like, okay, but they just keep calling and calling. I was like, oh, just ignore them. Like, it's not a big deal. And he said, honey, $3,500 is a big deal. And I just want to make sure that they're not going to go ahead and take this out of our bank account. And so I said, okay, that's fine. So then I continue filming. Then you can even see in my video, I keep like looking down like that because my phone was here, my watch was ringing, and my phone was ringing. And so I end up picking it up. The phone rings, Bank of America, 1-800-432-1000. I'll pop it up right here. You'll see that the call ended at 2:27, and I was on the phone for 11 minutes. While I was on the phone, they said, hey, we're going to, we've been trying to reach you. There's some kind of, activity going on in your account, and we see that your husband placed a call back, and so we're calling you back to make sure that we can rectify this. Everything sounds 100% legit, right? And so, okay, great, golden. Normally I would have been a little skeptical. Even still with the phone number, I didn't know that they were able to really duplicate it to the point where it says Bank of America and their exact 1-800-432-1000. But it is pretty amazing what people can do these days. So I was still a little skeptical as this conversation was going on, except, as I mentioned, Bank of America has a security feature. And so I have a thread in my text messages from any time that Bank of America has sent me the security thing. And I never delete them because I always want them for proof. God forbid something comes out of my account. And so I'm on the phone with the woman, and she says, okay, I'm going to send you a text message, and when you get the message, you're going to give me the code. She said, I'm going to remind you this every single time that I tell you to give me the code. I'm going to remind you. Under any other circumstance, you would not be giving this number out. You do not do that. But because we're trying to fix your security issue, you need to give me the number so that I can access your account and be able to stop the fraudulent activity and shut down your online access so we can reestablish it. literally talking to me exactly how the Bank of America reps talk when you talk to them. And she said, okay, you're gonna get a text message right now. Give me the code. Boom. Text message comes through on the thread that Bank of America texts me for security purposes. Well, why would I think anything bizarre? So I give them the number. She says, okay, that let me in. You're going to get one more. This is going to be the one that's going to allow me to shut the card down and reinstate access with a new passcode and user ID. Okay. As soon as she says that, boom, the text comes through on the same thread. So I go ahead and give it to her. Then she says, okay, we're going to go back here. You're just going to agree to yes. Yes is yes, I can go ahead and finish all of this up. And then I'll give you all of your new information. Text comes through. I apply yes. I watch all of my money. It went from my balance to 70 cents remaining into the bank account. And I said, wait a second, that just made all of my money disappear. And then the woman laughed and hung up the phone. I feel like I stood there in shock for like a good 5 minutes and I couldn't move a muscle because I did not know how I possibly could have just been manipulated. Like, it just didn't even seem literally possible that that could have happened. And so I panicked and I immediately called back Bank of America, and I get on the phone with the representative and I tell him what happened, and he said, okay, in order to talk to you, I have to send you a passcode. When you get the text message, give me the passcode. Boom, it comes up and there is the passcode. It's right underneath the information that this other people just sent me. How are these people able to text on the same exact thread that Bank of America can text from? That should be impossible. Literally impossible. And so the guy was like, I don't even know. I'm going to pop up a picture right here, okay? So the first two, the one that came through at 2:34 and 2:36 p.m. yesterday, those were the hackers asking me to give them those PIN codes in order to get in. The next one that comes through, I think it says like 3:53. That was me talking to Bank of America yesterday when I called them within the 10 minutes after being hacked. By the time I got through and I wasn't on hold anymore, it was about 3 o'clock when I spoke to the guy, and he sent me over, you know, that message saying, hey, can, you know, you give me this information? Then I spent 4 hours on the phone with them. And then this morning we went down to Bank of America, had no success. And so on the way back, I called again. And the one that you see at 11 o'clock was me talking to the representative on the phone. And then the other two came in are the other people that I spoke to after her that needed to check with me on whether or not I was who I said I was. So the fact that they were able to text me on Bank of America's thread and they were able to call me from Bank of America's phone number is very, very suspicious to me. So I spent 4 hours on the phone yesterday. I placed a claim for a scam, and then they transferred me to the online fraud department where they placed a claim. They told me 97% chance I'm not going to get my money back because I replied yes and I authorized that. However, I don't understand how that's possible because I only authorized it because it was under the security of Bank of America. It appears to me that they were hacked and then they were able to contact other Bank of America customers and be able to do this. And so hopefully that will be investigated somewhere in the claim. Like I said, 4 hours on the phone yesterday, but they told me to go down to Bank of America today and open up a brand new bank account. This one's on hold and frozen. It's deposits only at this time, so I can't pull any money out of it. But my paycheck, everything all goes into this account. So I'm completely freaking out. Some of my stuff, like my Google paycheck that only gets paid once a month, it's already an EFT transaction. Like, we get paid next week. There's no way of stopping that. Maybe for next month I can, but for this month I can't. So a lot of stuff is still going to go into this account, and I'm going to have to contact them and ask them to transfer the money into a new account because I can't do that. A rep can't do that. Only the fraud department can take my money out and put it somewhere else. So it's going to be, I don't even know, it's going to be a complete disaster to be able to get my own money out of this account and into another account until everything that gets automatically drafted or deposited gets rectified with a new account number. And frankly, I don't want to open up a new Bank of America account. I went down to be able to establish this, and they told me they couldn't see me because I didn't have an appointment. I'd have to wait an hour and a half, and then that would be out of the time that the bank was open. So they pretty much didn't think they would be able to see me. And how could I make an appointment if like something happened in an emergency, you know? It's not like you're making an appointment days ahead to do something normal. This was obviously an isolated situation. They told me that everything I was told from the fraud department was not true. They can't connect bank accounts. They're only there to open or close an account, and that's pretty much all that they could help with. Make a deposit, make a withdrawal. That's all that the branches really can do. So we went down there for kind of a waste. On the way home, I ended up calling and speaking to somebody else. I got a fantastic woman on the phone. I will say that the only props that Bank of America is going to get out of me right now is their level of customer service that I've been dealing with when I call on the phone. Not one of them have made me feel crappy like a criminal or that any of that was my fault. They've all been extremely sympathetic, which I am just so happy with and blessed to have, because if you had people who were making your day more difficult while you're calling during such a stressful time, that definitely would make it worse for sure. All right, so I'm starting to get a little emotional just for the minute, because to me, this woman changed the whole dynamic of this, because while I was on the phone with her, I told her about those text messages that had come through on the same thread, and she seemed to feel like that was impossible. And so I told her, yeah, it came from the, you know, 93981 number or whatever, which is the 5-digit number that Bank of America texts on. And she said, well, anything that would be text to that thread, we would have record of. So let me look. And so she comes back and she's like, what times did you say that those were for? I said 2:34 and 2:36, and she said, oh, you're Central Time? I said, yep. And she's like, well, that's really strange, because on 3:34 and 3:36 my time, we did send you 2 security notifications. She said, a hacker can't do that. A hacker can't send that to you from this thread. And I said, but I'm telling you, that is the numbers that I gave to the person that let them into my account who stole my money. And she said, okay, well then you need to hold on. She had me on hold for a really long time. She came back and she was like, look, I've escalated this claim. We tried and rectify it in 10 days. It could take as long as 45, but our goal is 10 days. She said, but I need to let you know that there's not a lot more I can say at this point right now, because I need to let you know that this is now way more than just a fraudulent claim. I said, well, what exactly does that mean? And she's like, well, again, I can't really speak much. This is under investigation. They are going to investigate thorough, but after what I've just discovered, I'm just going to say this to you, and you take it as you wish. And I said, okay. And she said, it appears to me this was a little close to home. And so I am reading between the lines, but I'm thinking exactly what I think. And I believe this was an internal theft. They had the power to send me those, be in my account. They had the power to send me those notifications, knowing that that would generate numbers to let them in. And she said those code numbers don't do anything for anybody else but Bank of America employees. Those numbers are used to verify my identity so Bank of America computers can continue. So for them to have done that and use those codes to get in, for them to generate the draft so that they can get me to authorize that so that they could take all of my money, seems like that's something that happened in-house. So if this is something that's happening in-house, I am standing on my soapbox, on my platform, on whatever it is that I can use to tell you guys, do not bank with Bank of America. I know a lot of people who bank with them. Literally most of my friends bank with Bank of America, at least all the ones that live here. Like, a lot of people use them. Like I said, I use other accounts. I use Wells Fargo also, but I literally have just called all of my friends who use Bank of America and told them to pull their money, because I don't trust anybody anywhere anymore, ever. The fact that my bank could have had a security breach so bad that it happened within their walls to be able to take everything from me. And the woman said, it's still not a guarantee I'm going to get all my money back. Even if they could prove that it happens there, it's still not a guarantee because I still authorized it regardless. Even if it was an employee I said I would send my money to, it doesn't matter if I was coerced. I said yes. So that one word allows them to relieve themselves of any kind of responsibility or liability in this matter. It's in their fine print. It's in Zelle's fine print. It's in all their fine print that they are not held responsible if it is something authorized by you. And I said understood, but it was only authorized under the assumption that I was talking to a Bank of America employee. I am really beside myself because this is just a personal note, but I mean, they took everything we had, and we just went through this, you know, almost 3 years ago when we got scammed. It took us a good solid year to pull ourselves out of the dirt and repair our lives from what happened. And honestly, the only thing that saved us was we sold our house. We were able to take all the profits that we had, pay off all of our debts, pay off anybody who lent us money so that we could live through that time that we were living through with no money, and be able to stash away what we had left and live off of a savings, be able to save to buy this house and whatever. But selling our house was our only saving grace. Otherwise, we never would have caught up from having everything ripped from underneath us like that and leaving us with nothing. In this particular instance, like I said, we bank with Wells Fargo also, but Daryl and I both have gotten paid. It was my first paycheck from my new job, and he had gotten paid from his job, and so we both had paychecks go in, and we were super excited. It was the first time that I've received a weekly paycheck because I've been doing nothing but YouTube for the last 6 years, so I get paid once a month unless it's sponsored content, and even that is just strips and drabs here and there. It's not like a set solid, like you get paid on Fridays, and so it felt really good. I went and paid our bills for the rest of the month, and we were pretty much caught up on, you know, groceries for the most part. All of our tickets are bought for our trips for the next couple of months and stuff, and so this was just our fun money. Thousands, but still fun money. Things we were gonna do, put towards our trip. You know, we have to rent a car to drive up to see my in-laws. Rental cars and all that stuff are super expensive. Like, this was all our fun travel, Jake's graduation party in New York, all of that kind of money gone like that. And Bank of America is still just not sure what they're gonna do about it. And so I'm here, like I said, to use whatever platform that I have to be able to share with you guys that if you have an option to bank with Bank of America or not, I highly suggest that you do not. My last thing that I want to share, and then I actually have to go because I have therapy, is my cousin. I'm going to pop it up right here. This is my mom's sister's son, so it's my first cousin. He lives in New York City. He's banked with Bank of America for 34 years. That's what this article says right here that I'm posting up. This is his Facebook page where he shared, and the link that I'm posting, if you guys want to take a screenshot and go and look it up, then you can read the entire article. But this just happened to him a couple of months ago with Bank of America after banking with them for 34 years. And he was it took him 4 months to get his money back, and the only reason why he got his money back is because he went to the New York Times. And the New York Times did a big expose on it, went and interviewed Bank of America and all of that, and they ended up making an article about it, and that's the reason why he got his money back. I told you guys I was going to share to you one other instance. A couple of years back, I had this weird charge reoccurring on my bank account, Bank of America, every single month, $2.12 to the New York Times. Speaking of, never understood why. Called Bank of America. They told me they were putting a stop on it. Every single month, $2. Not every month did I call about it because it was $2, but it would still get annoying. And so eventually I called New York Times, and we tried everything. Phone numbers, email addresses, all the things. Nobody could find an account. They literally could not find out why they were drawing money from me. And so they ended up writing me a letter, emailing me. And the letter was actually addressed to Bank of America stating, hey, this is the New York Times. We have no idea why this amount is being drafted out of this bank account. We can't even find a link, no phone number, no address, no name, no email address, no anything. And we are requesting that you please put a stop payment on this payment. This person does not have an account with us. I presented that letter to Bank of America. They said they were taking care of it. They never did. All of a sudden, that $2.12 went to $8.68 a month. Finally, after that, I ended up being a little bit more diligent about it, and I ended up getting a wonderful, again, customer service representative from Bank of America who helped me, told me they figured it out. She was able to stop the payment. It actually worked this time. She stopped the payment. She went through every month for the years that this was going on, added up all of the payments, and awarded us back $76. I know it doesn't sound like a lot of money. $2 doesn't add up, you know, to very much over a, you know, long amount of time. But once it got to like $8, it accumulated a little faster. So we got $76 back. We just received a letter from Bank of America the day before all this happened. So 2 days ago, we received a letter from Bank of America stating that they do understand that it was fraud. They do understand that I did not authorize those payments, but they don't feel like giving me back all $76. They'll allow me to keep 42 of it, but that the remaining $34 and change or whatever would be removed from my account on July the 13th because they feel like we should split the deficit. What? Why are we splitting the deficit of something I never authorized? You're my damn bank. It's your job to protect me. And they admitted in the paperwork, we know this was fraudulent activity, but we're only going to hold ourselves responsible for $42 of it, and the rest of it was on you. How can you continue to bank with an establishment that feels that way? That is not a banking institution that I want to continue to put my money into. To my son just opened up a bank account there and a savings account. Guess who's pulling his money out? We're not keeping our accounts inside of Bank of America at all because they clearly do not have their best interest of their clients at heart. I mean, I'm to the point right now where I probably should just start keeping my cash underneath my mattress because I'm not really... I don't trust anybody anymore, because if this happened internally, how could you ever trust a bank? You can't. And so I'm devastated, you guys. I mean, this kind of ruined my whole summer, but I'm going to do my best. Like I said, I tried to stay as completely calm, cool, and collective as I possibly could because this is for awareness. You guys, just like I stood up on my soapbox and said, don't buy Datebox. Say no to Datebox. Well, say no to Bank of America. Say no. Do not bank with them. If you have accounts, pull them. Make an impact. Do you know yesterday morning a class action suit was opened? Just yesterday. Google it yourself. I'll put links in the description box if I can, but Google it yourself. Bank of America scams. And you will see a class action suit just got started yesterday. I never would have known. I Googled this all after the fact. But when I Googled it, it said 4 hours ago. It had said online that a class action suit had just been filed against Bank of America for not protecting their clients against fraud. So as awareness, you guys, be careful. Don't answer the phone. Even if it's Bank of America, hang up and call them. Never, ever, 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 ever do that. I've learned my lesson. That's where my lesson is learned. Even if it's I'll never do the callback feature ever again. I'll never trust anybody to call me. Even if I think my bank is calling me back, I'm never going to trust that again. I'll hold for an hour. But if you need to get something done, you call them directly. You hang up if you never, ever, ever feel safe. You always ask for everybody's employee ID number when you call them. And please, you guys, speak to your children. I have a child, 17 years old, who has a bank account. He would have fell hook, line, and sinker for the same damn thing if this happened to him. So please, educate your children, your family, your elderly, because this happens to them so much because they're just concerned. They don't understand fraud. This wasn't a thing for them growing up. They just want to protect their money. So I'm asking you, because I'm not going to stop. I will go to the paper. I will do everything. I was going to do that last time, but after everything settled down, like I said, I feel like it was my fault. This is not my fault, you guys. This is not. And this is only just the beginning. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please share this video so that other people can be aware. Give it a thumbs up so it could get pushed out through YouTube as much as possible, so as many people can be brought to awareness the way that I'm bringing to you. No. Say no to Bank of America, you guys. Thanks for watching.